Hello lovelies, good day and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, you're welcome, and to all my returning subscribers, you're also welcome. My name is Oluwatosin. In case you are new here, please consider subscribing to my channel. So in this tutorial, we are going to be learning how to cut a gathered dress with asymmetric neckline and then eyelets at the back with two different kinds of sleeves, just the way you are seeing on your screen. Without talking too much, let us jump right into the video. For this project, I used 3 yards of Ankara, and the measurements required basically are the full length, the bust, the half length, the shoulder, the armhole, the sleeve length, and then the round sleeve. So firstly, I'm going to be bringing out the half length. I'll be bringing out half length for the front first. Whatever the person's bust is, I'm going to divide it by 4, and then I'll mark that where my fabric is on fold of 2. Then I added 2 inches sewing allowance. This is for the front panel now. The next is I'm going to mark out a half length, then I'll add 2 inches allowance. A half length is 15. I added 2 inches allowance, and after that I'm going to cut out this, and this is going to serve as the front panel for the half cut. So I'll place that on another piece, leaving the zip allowance of 2 inches at the back. Then I'll proceed to cutting that out. Basically, that is me bringing out the half length, because this dress is just going to have a simple princess that is not going to have cup. So the next thing I'll do is to measure a shoulder divided by 2 plus half inch sewing allowance. Then I'll mark out the armhole. Then I'm going to draw out the armhole cuff. The next I'll do is to mark a bust divided by 4 plus 1.5 inch allowance. Then a waistline divided by 4 plus 1.5 inch sewing allowance. After this, I'm going to connect the bust and the waist points together, and I'll go out to cut this out. When I'm done, I'll put a notch at the middle of the neckline, just like I'm doing. And when I'm done doing this, I'm going to rearrange my fabric because of the asymmetric neckline. That is why we are cutting it this way. So the wrong side is facing up. I'm just putting the mark there so that I can easily identify the wrong from the right side. Then the right side is going to face up for the front panel, so that wrong side is facing wrong side now. After this, from that notch that I put at the middle, I'm going to measure the neckline towards the right side. I used 7 divided by 2, 3.5. Then on the left, you are going to mark out how low you want the asymmetric neckline to be, because this neckline is going to fall on the left. After this, you mark it out, and then you proceed to cutting it out. Then you proceed to slanting the shoulder towards the armhole, just like I'm doing in the video. The next thing to do now is I want to cut out my princess dart. It's not going to have cup, just princess dart. So I'm going to place right side on right side for the back panel, and then I'll fold the front into 2 as well, making sure that right side is facing right side. And I'll arrange these together. Then I'll mark out a nipple to nipple divided by 4 plus half inch sewing allowance. Then on the shoulder line, I'm going to go downward with 4.5 inch. Then I'll connect these 2 points together and proceed to cutting it out. It is that simple. I'm just putting that mark there so that I'm going to differentiate between the wrong side and the right side easily. So moving to the pencil sleeve now, I'm going to mark an armhole divided by 2 when my piece is on fold of 2. That gives me a clue on where to stop my fold. After folding that, I'm going to mark out the length. I used 17 with allowance. The actual length is 15, but I used 17 because I'm going to turn it. Then you mark out a round sleeve at the bicep region plus 1.5 inch sewing allowance, and then a round sleeve at the tip of the sleeve plus 1.5 inch sewing allowance. Then you connect these 2 allowance points together, and then you proceed to cutting it out. After cutting it out, the next thing to do is to cut the gathers. In this case, I used times 2.5 of our waistline. You can use more than that. It depends on how full you want it to be. And then after cutting it out, I figured the length. I deducted a half length, and then I added 2 inches allowance to the whole length. And that is exactly what I have on this fabric. The next thing I'm going to do after this is to figure out where the pocket is going to stay. So to do that, I'm going to fold my fabric into 2. After folding into 2 equal to, I'm going to still fold into 4, leaving the zipper allowance of 2 inches at the back. You know, the part that is opened is automatically the part where the zip is going to stay. So towards that part, I'm going to make it 2 inches shorter than longer than the front panel rather. So when I'm done doing this, automatically the opened part is the zip center back, then the part opposite it is the center front. That means towards the side is where the pocket is going to be. So the pocket starts from 2 inches from the half length. The wideness of the pocket itself is 6 inches, and then you're going to still mark additional 2 inches for creating channel where the pocket is going to stay. So that makes it 10. So I proceeded to tearing up the 10 inches, and basically that is it on how to figure out where the pocket is going to be on a piece like this. Then to cut the other sleeve, which is the flare sleeve, I folded my fabric into 8, trying to cut a 360-degree flare. Then I divided a armhole by 8 because my fabric is on fold of 8. Then I marked the full length, then I cut that out. It is that simple. I proceeded to cutting lining. For the gathers, I made the lining 5 inches short. Then for this pencil sleeve, I made the lining 2 inches short because I'm going to turn the sleeve. Then I cut lining for the half length as well. It's just the exact thing you're going to cut for the half length, no deduction at all. Then I pinned the half length the way I'm going to join it. I pinned each side to the middle panel, making sure the right side is facing right side. This is the front panel. I did the same thing to the front panel. And after this, I proceeded to cutting the part where the eyelet is going to stay. To cut that piece, you're just going to place the center back on another piece. Then you deduct the zip allowance and deduct additional 1 to 2 inches, which was what I did. And when I was done cutting that, this is what I have. So when you place that part where the eyelet is going to stay on the back panel, so when you place that on the back panel, you are going to have something looking like this. The part where the eyelet is going to stay, I cut 2 because I'm going to use 1 to turn 1. So this is basically what it's going to look like. And when I was done doing this, I proceeded to sewing. This video doesn't contain the sewing video, but in my next video, I'm going to be uploading how I joined all these pieces together. So stay tuned and watch out for my next video. And when I was done doing all these things I said and done sewing, I have a dress that is looking like this. It is that simple. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to watch out for my next video where I'm going to be talking about the sewing of this dress. If you find this video helpful, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you've not subscribed, kindly do. If you can, share my video and mix your soulmate as much as you can. Thank you so much for sticking with me from the beginning of the video till this point. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.